Hi everybody. Say I just been, sitting here on my deck thinking a little bit today and giving some thanks for my life and where I've been and some of the things that have been given to me and just pretty thankful. And I guess along that line, uh, you know, people have been asking about me and kind of, what's my story and who am I and where am I headed and so forth and where do I come from, kind of like a little bit about what's me and what's my life, so forth, and I guess who I am and what I believe, and you know it's pretty simple. I'm just a guy, in an elemental way, I suppose. I've always been someone who's pursued my dreams and my ambitions. What drove me from, I suppose, an early age is, well, twofold. The chance to give back for all I've received medically, and second, I suppose, is a chance to really help out the world, you know, um, from the way I see it, what's in my mind and what's possible, I suppose, and what's probable. It's been fueled in part, by the fact that we live in a time where advancements in just about every industry are happening at lightning speed, not something that I was ever exposed to as a kid or even as a young adult. And once, what was impossible, well, is now, I suppose, actual. Um, I guess for me it started, as a child, sitting with my dad. Hey, Eric, watching hero movies and characters like John Wayne, and who always seem to, rise to the occasion regardless of the hardships that they were being faced with, and they did so for the sake of others, and I always loved that. That inspired me, and I wanted to be in a position to, help bring out the genius in others, for them to drive to bigger and better opportunities, I suppose. Some things that I had, been instilled with me when I was growing up. And if I think about the mentors of my life, well, they've been the real people. Hi, Michelle. Like, Dr. Albert Starr, who performed all four of my open heart surgeries. I experienced his genius firsthand. I saw the real impact he was making in his world. And, I was fortunate to be on the receiving end of that. And, I'm really grateful for that. And guys like, Abraham Lincoln, he saw the way the country, you know, was, but he saw it more of the way the country and the world could be, and by that he had impact. I mean, he directed change on a continental level. And what about Walt Disney? I mean, he created a mascot, if you will, for the world to love. These everyday heroes too. Those that serve and protect our freedoms. I was never able to do that, and I sure admire those that do. Those people inspired me. Hi, Leanne. Um, Single parents, raising their kids, that inspires me. It's that type of ability to break through barriers and unleash the good, disruptive creativity and action. That's what's driven me most of my life. So, I think about the tens of millions of square feet of medical facilities and hospitals that I've had the privilege to design, and the millions of dollars that I've been able to raise as seed funding, fueling, incubators of new business development, and the individuals and the companies that I've helped, position as leaders in their arenas, the teams of people that I've recruited and developed and that have made, all of these successes possible. I'm humbled by that. But it's also created, I suppose, a formula that allows us to break through barriers and traditions until visions and dreams are realized. And I think that's part of what we're here for. There's no way of getting around the fact that all things, shall we call them, bold and brave, and yeah, I suppose even difficult, maybe even, in some realms impossible, they're all fiction. They're just particles in the ether, unrealized. It's fugazi, until the time comes when we use our genius to turn them into something tangible, something real, some things that are really important in our lives. And that's a real transparent, if you will, look at me. I believe that each of us has a phenomenal capacity, and that there's nothing we can't do personally and even possess the tools to have global impact. And I know that sounds, it could sound enormous to you, but we have that ability as people to do and become, and have this global impact. I mean, we have the technology to and the ability to wipe out hunger, and to create safe drinking water, for those all over the world, an opportunity for all of our children to be, freely educated and to eliminate poverty by developing, entrepreneurship, that individual purpose, and by extension, I suppose, creating lives of abundance. But we need to get away from using these challenges and these platforms as leverage against each other and start collaborating about how we make that change. And I think that's something our government needs to look at too. I spend the lion's share of my consulting and mentoring time with entrepreneurs, about business development and how to recruit and, the art of sales and what's that mean to really grow a company. And, these are people that dare to dream and use their genius, if you will, to create their talents and bring about change and abundance, not only around them, but for their circles of influence and for anybody they reach out and touch. And some of these people, are amazing. I've had the privilege of, co-founding businesses with some of them, and it's been a real privilege to experience. And, you know, but in all, I'm just a guy, working towards, I guess, a better tomorrow, following my vision and keeping my creative dream alive and using, the tools that God gave me and the talents He gave me to help tackle some of the biggest challenges, that are ahead of us as individuals and as a global audience. But also knowing that nothing is insurmountable because of our ability to create and solve. There's so much opportunity in the world, and our choice is, will we engage? And if so, how? So anyway, some thoughts for me today, and I hope that you find some encouragement in that, and I hope you have a great day. Oh, I want to, hey Blake, Evelyn, Christine, and Deb, thanks for joining in. Anyway, have a great day, folks. Talk to you soon.